Hello, welcome to today's show. We are back with the rest of the cast of the holiday and the Wonder Christmas Wonderthon. Maggie and Stephanie. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey,
Hello, guys.
how did you get into acting?
Maggie.
Cecily, do you want to start?
I sure. So I was a very tall child from a very early age, and with that came a lot of uh, expectation and weirdness, and I became the school bully. And because I was a giant, it was kind of easy to do. I was skinny, but I was tall. I was the tallest kid in school for like 10 years. And then, usually bullies tend to be bullies because they have low self esteem. And my parents found a self esteem building theater program that they put me into to help me build that self esteem and not be such a jerk to my fellow classmates. And it worked. It was great. I was enrolled in a production of Oliver. So over 12 weeks, we rehearsed and performed. And I am to this day still friends from people in that show that I did in 1986.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
06.
I remember a lot of people that I used to do the drama department with.
Nice.
You Mag, how did you get into acting?
Well, unlike Cecily, I was a very short kid growing up and still am a very short kid. But being the youngest of four sisters, I, of course, was always playing around, striving for attention, being goofy, talking to myself in the mirror, making up characters. And it wasn't until high school that I finally took a break from playing sports and running around and channeled all that energy into theater. And so, in between sports seasons, I used to play softball, soccer, things year round. I decided in the winter time, I would audition for the musical, and we did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, one of my favorites, and I got cast and got to sing and dance and play fun character. And that really spurred my love for acting, was actually being on stage and just the experience that you feel from the audience laughing and clapping and singing along to you, really like spurred my joy of acting and performing. I mean, I've always been a goofball. I've always wanted to try to make people laugh, but the full theater experience is really something that everyone should have at least once in their life, because it changes you, and it brings so much fun and camaraderie with your castmates. And so I really started in high school and have continued on from there.
Very interesting.
What part was your out of your own career? What is the part that you like the best? Your all-time favorite part you ever played up until now?
I don't know. I think for me, again, being someone that's generally more comedic, I love entertaining people. I love making people laugh. And so
I'm a
yeah,
character actor.
generally,
And I only
times.
take, and I only take character driven roles. Like, yeah.
Like narrator too.
Yeah, like narrator.
Yep.
Or Moonface. But what was your favorite
I think this one's hard. I think I'm gonna say the swing in Suds, the Rockin' 60s musical soap opera, which played for quite a long time off Broadway. And I had an opportunity to do it in 2008 with a very short turnaround. I got cast on a Friday and started rehearsals on Monday. And then the following Saturday, we flew to Washington. And then that Monday was our first show.
Jeez.
It's a four-person show. So the first time I did it, I had a character, but the second time I did it the following year at the Welk Resort, I was the swing for the 3 female roles. And so it was super exciting because I was familiar with the show, and it was the same production team for the most part. But it was just, it's such a good show. It's a jukebox musical. It's kind of the original jukebox musical. Like Beehive, I think, came out right around that time as well. But it's beautifully done. The story is super silly, but it's like all your favorite music from the 60s, and it has Beatles and Rolling Stones, and it's all very, very funny and takes place in a laundromat. So I love that show. That's like a show I could do every day for the rest of my life.
What about you, Meg?
Years ago, when I was still living in Minnesota and performing there, I used to work with the Murder Mystery Company that would put on murder mystery shows for audiences. And we used to do this 1920s Prohibition themed show. And I got cast to play Amanda Lay, who was this flapper. I got to wear a blonde wig. She was, and my job was to, of course, interact with the guests and get them comfortable, but also get the show rolling and be an integral part of the show. And I loved that character so much because, kind of like Cecily, I played her many times, but she kept evolving. So by the end, she was almost this wannabe starlet that thought she was an amazing singer, and she wasn't. And so she had this whole musical number that just was this very thick, I want to be loved by you, just you. And it was awful and amazing. And I got to have so much fun just diving into who she was. And yeah, I could probably play her every day.
Yeah. That's good that I play often, and have it thing or Bob Cratchit. You don't know how many times that I played those 2 roles. A lot. Yeah, like 5 times each.
Wow.
5 times for Bob, and 5 for Vince. Yeah. Now, if you could play any roles that your icons played, what would they be and why?
Ooh. Gosh.
There are so many good roles out there. Ooh.
I've always wanted to play Nancy in the sound in Oliver, because I think since that was the first show I ever did, it was, like I was a little kid and Nancy was the grown up and she was glamorous and wonderful. And so, Dana Handstein was my epitome of the perfect Nancy for so much of my life. She's not, everybody's hero in the theater, but she was mine for, very long time. And I would still like to play Nancy, even though I think I've aged out.
No, Cecily, never.
As you might know, my group is an all age group. I will let you play your favorite role, even if you're 80.
Right.
Well, in
Like,
that case, I would like to do 8 Misbehaving and sing the Viper's Drag. I love that play. It's my favorite musical.
Because I did anything goes as Moonface and our Reno was 11 and our Billy Clark was 75.
All right, well,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
gives everybody an opportunity, right?
Yeah. So we added 75-year-old Billy Clark with a 11-year-old Reno Sweeney.
I mean, if you can help people, make their dream roles come true, why not?
Just perpetuate them. Yeah.
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 And what about you?
Oh man. So this might sound silly, but I've always wanted to play a serial killer.
Those are fun.
And
Those are definitely
I
fun.
think it's because, again, I play more comedy and I'm more lighthearted, but me as a human being loves, I love, I don't know, that looking at serial killers and crime and murder mysteries. And I always thought that if I wasn't an actor, I probably would have been a psychiatrist or a therapist, someone who studied psychopathy and sociopaths. And so my dream role would be to play a sociopath. And just, yeah.
Maybe we should write something with your blonde-haired Bob lady being a serial killer.
Right? Or the Jennifer Garner who gets to just be a spy and just gets to be all these different roles. I mean, I recently watched Killing Eve, and Jodie, I think it's Jodie Jodie Cotner. Oh, I can't pronounce her last name.
Is it on AMC?
Yeah, she did an amazing job of being this assassin who just goes into all these different roles and plays all these different characters. And I'm like, oh, that would be perfect. That would be
both
fun.
ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Some actors can pull it off.
You could definitely do that.
Yeah.
What is the role that you played that you wanted that you could play again for a second time? And don't mind it at all that you had to play it a second time.
I've done a lot of shows more than once. So I've done a lot of musicals more than once, and I've done some episodics where I was, series lead. So I played the same character in multiple episodes. So I don't know. I think I can't think of anything that I wouldn't want to play again that I've already done. There was nothing that I was like, this is awful. I mean, I don't love playing racists.
Oh,
But it's always a comedic take that's really more calling out the behavior. So I'm definitely for calling out bad behavior. So I'm like, oh, right, I could play racist grocery shopper again.
I personally have seen Cecily's Racist Grocery Shopper, and it's
accidentally racist.
Right, yeah.
Orange County racist.
Yeah. Not full on Karen, but.
Right. Totally not a Karen. She's more of a Nancy.
Yeah.
What about you?
no, there's nothing that I've apart from, there's nothing I've really played more than once or would not want to play again. I don't know. I guess I'm always just open. I'm open for everything. I'm open for business in
You're
the
versatile.
acting sense of
Right.
things. So no, there's nothing I wouldn't want to play again or
It's
would
good
get
to
sick
go
of
in
playing
and-
ever.
Was there anything you ever did that you wished had gone longer, like you wanted to do it more?
Yeah.
No. No.
Like
Probably
one more scene?
No, I mean there probably is something, but like I can't think of anything right now. No, I feel like everything just kind of has its season. It's like it comes and goes, and then it leads you to the next thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people who just are very limited, obviously they only have a
Mhm.
very limited selection of roles.
With no.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesse? What part would
with,
you want to play again?
with no when it comes to Finch or Bob, it put me in the coach.
Always Finch and Bob. I got you.
Or I would like to play Moonface.
Yeah,
Moonface again? Nice.
But I did. My most difficult role was Bobby Child in Crazy for You. Because the version that we did, because it came on karaoke, because we couldn't get a band, it was an hour and 30 minutes, and every other scene I was switching from Bobby back to Zangler, Bobby back to Zangler, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. Now, if it was the real play, the 2-hour real play, it would be 50-50 for each character, but because it was the Vegas running time, it was like odd even, not 50-50. So I was like, do I need my New York accent or my Hungarian? Because I thought myself for 10 months how to sing and talk in a Hungarian accent.
Do you want to give us a little of that now for your audience here?
Well, should we go to Nevada? Yeah.
Nice.
What was your most difficult musical part that you ever did?
Ooh, Cecily probably has some great answers. I've only done a few musicals, so I would probably say Once Upon a Mattress. Yeah.
Why was that though?
Oh, it's just the lead just has this intense solo of like singing pretty, and then she like goes into this belt, and it's so difficult and hard because you're playing this character that's in a way comedic and in a way a juxtaposition between a princess but also this kind of rowdy, brawly, big character. So
So
I
you
don't
were
know.
Winifred.
I wasn't. I auditioned for her.
You should have been Winifred.
No, but the Winifred was perfect. She was a redhead. And she was just glorious. So I can't even be upset because she was perfect.
Who did you play?
What did I? Oh yeah. What was it? What did I play?
Yeah,
I was one of the ladies in waiting. So I was kind of not Winifred, but
Fancy.
a fancy lady. Yeah.
Fancy lady.
What about you, Lily?
I was just thinking, every show has its own challenges. And honestly, I think the most challenging show I've ever done, I was not on stage for. I was actually running the soundboard. And that was Pirates of Penzance, because at the time I did not read music. And there is they did not provide a written libretto, so I was having to read the music to keep up with the show. And because it's an operetta, it's an opera. It's all to music. There's no dialogue. So that was tricky. And then we had some technical issues, like it was performed in a high school. One of our local civic light opera companies performed in a nice high school auditorium. And during the week, the high school decided they wanted the soundboard, and so they took it out of the theater and took it somewhere and brought it back and plugged it in wrong. And I knew how to fader push, but I didn't know how to plug stuff in. I couldn't track the path and the signal path, and we had major issues. So that would probably be the most challenging show I've ever done. I would say, Kopit Yeston's Phantom is fun, but if you're in the ensemble, or even if you're one of the flower girls, Flora and Florence, it's there's a lot of running around because there is a lot of doubling.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about the equipment. How did they handle equipment on the that you said what your ass was in?
Well, not enough. I've still got plenty back here.
Still more where that came from.
Good. Thank God.
Pandemic tush.
Right.
Yes.
You did visuals, you did sound, you did video, you did green screen, you provided everybody with 6 different backgrounds that they had the games. You were stage manager, actor, video person.
Goes on, huh?
Yes, I did a lot. I did a lot. I'm a firm believer in go big or go home.
Yeah.
It's the nice thing about the script, besides the fact that it's actually funny, which doesn't always happen, is that there were a lot of great suggestions from the writer and from the author and from the royalty holders, because things like virtual backgrounds, I probably wouldn't have thought about that, but then I was like, yes, virtual backgrounds. And I really think that using that kind of technology and our music underscoring and things like that really helped make our production move up to a different level. I mean, I've seen Zoom plays, but I've never seen a Zoom play like what we did.
No, honestly, yeah, we haven't.
Yeah.
And we've seen a few.
Yeah.
How many views are we up to now?
like like in the twos.
Nice.
It surpassed like Chris McCavill.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And now, Maggie, how did you get into Rita?
How did I get into Rita? Oh my goodness. You know, like Cecily mentioned, the show was written so well, and you could really see just from reading the script what kind of motifs and what kind of characters the writer was trying to create. Being that it's a satire and a parody and whatnot, and so Rita kept evolving as the time. Every time we did it, I felt like I found something different with her, and being that all of the rehearsals were over Zoom as opposed to in theater when you're actually acting in person across from your scene partner, I don't know about you, Cecily, but I find that when I work with another person, my scene partner affects me a lot, and they inform me a lot too. So it was also looking at, Rita's scene partner of Sven, and
Played by Adam.
exactly played by Adam, who, I felt almost like Rita had to keep up with Sven. So whatever Sven was bringing, Rita had to top, and that really helped, I think, get her into character and become her more. Was okay. It's not just about Rita; it's about Rita topping Sven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I was off and muted for half of the time because I if I had to do it with Adam, I don't think I could get through it at all.
Yeah, he's definitely like a breaker maker.
Yeah. He's intense. I loved performing with him. He's so intense and stays in character so well. It's a challenge.
It's hard not to laugh.
Yeah, I'm
Really
half
hard not to
of
laugh.
the time our video were muted and our mic were on and
Oh, we're cracking up, yeah.
and only English were doing all like that. And
It never failed.
if I had to play a scene with Adam, it would be just 5 minutes of me laughing and not doing any lines.
I'd watch that.
I would too. Yeah, Adam's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is your dream role?
I always envisioned myself as, the wacky neighbor on a TV show, like a multicam comedy. I sort of look at like Edie McClurg from Small Wonder, if any of you were even old enough to remember that show.
What was that show?
She's so funny and she's so big, and she came out of the Groundlings, so she has a great foundation, and she's somebody that I have always looked up to in my career, as a funny lady who can be over the top and funny, or be the straight man and be funny. Like she's a straight man with Elvira, in the movie Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. She's so good.
And you, Meg?
If I could play either Tina Fey's younger sister or like Tina Fey's younger self, I will be set for life. I would be so happy to just play, or play anything Tina Fey related.
She's
Yeah.
awesome, for sure.
I want to see this.
Extremely talented.
Yeah, me too.
Is there anything coming up with you, Meg?
Oh, I have two projects that are in kind of pre-production in the works right now. Some two girls that I worked with a few years ago for a musical are producing producing a short series that is kind of taking place in space, post apocalyptic Earth, that Earth has ruined itself, and there's all these different factions, and these two sisters are kind of living out in space and checking in on Earth, and I get to play kind of the healer of this clan that's still on Earth. We haven't filmed my scenes yet, but that should be coming up soon, especially because of COVID, we're filming everything remotely. And so being able to work with them and say, okay, well, what equipment, what locations do you have? How can we film your scenes remotely and incorporate that into this story? Kind of in like, oh, we're looking at video logs. We're looking at this. I mean, that's the first time I've really been a part of something that's really playing into what's available now with COVID and people's safety, and how can we write something that makes sense for the times that we're living in, as opposed to, okay, we're just going to shoot with a smaller crew and make it work.
What about you?
I do not. I mean, I was in a series called Illville that is making the rounds at film festivals right now. We won some awards at the Pan African Film Festival in Cannes last year. So that's exciting. It's very, very, on brand for 2020, actually, because it really focuses on the Black Lives Matter movement and the catalysts that have caused that to come to be. And I've done a couple of projects actually similar to that as well. Dear Vivian, I was in and produced, co-produced a few years ago with Angelica Washington, who's now on Stargirl. She's a superhero now, but that also had to deal with Black Lives Matter. But before it had a name, it was in the 60s. So it's exciting to be a person that's able to to be a part of this and being part of the solution in a way, as opposed to standing on the sidelines, wringing my hands, going, I don't know what to do. I'm doing some writing. I have. I need to be further along in a limited dark comedy series that I'm writing based on real life in my world. It's like Tiger King, but with better teeth and less death and even more exotic animals.
Ooh, I will watch that.
Yeah.
You might be in it.
I will also be in it.
We're gonna, yes, we're talking about pitching it to Hulu because we have an in there. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope it's not like The Queen's Gambit and it takes 30 years.
Right.
Yeah, so I've not seen it. Have you seen it?
I mean, it was worth waiting for.
So worth
Queen's
it. It was
Gambit.
so good. So good. I'd watch it again and again and again.
I have seen a little here and there, but
It's beautiful. It's choreographed. A lot of the show is choreographed almost like a musical. It's there, it's not a musical by any means, but just the way, like chess is a game, and you move the piece here and here, just like choreography. Like, it's really fascinating and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you just like period costumes.
Yeah. And the music.
I could see J. Pierpont Finch living along, catching up. Finch and Rosemary bumping into her to Beth. What's coming up for you, Jesse?
I cannot say.
Oh, that's right.
It's still being
You have a secret project coming up that you won't tell any of us about.
Yeah.
Confidential.
I have two.
Two.
Two secret projects.
Yeah, the one in July that we're working on. But
Yes, I'm in on that secret.
the other, but the other one I cannot say.
Mhm.
No.
All right, Jesse, leave us all in suspense.
That's right. So that's right, audience. Audience, keep your eyes open, keep your ears out for this new exciting Jesse Walker Show event coming soon that we can't tell you about because we don't know.
Yeah. Just that a big cast, Broadway cast reunion. Like,
Hey,
when you hear about it, you are gonna flip out.
sounds awesome. Wait, speaking of reunions, you said it was a reunion, an anniversary reunion. Didn't you just have an anniversary, Jesse?
Yes, I did. It was 20 years since the Jackie Walker show premiered.
Yay! Happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
Thank you. It was 20 years yesterday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon that we filmed the pilot for it. But
That's exciting.
Mhm.
yeah, the first 6 years I was on public access, and then when YouTube was created, we moved over to YouTube and been here ever since. Yeah,
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
thank you. So, anything else you need to promote? Why?
Not for me. I wish I had a lot of things to promote.
Yeah. Things are a little quiet right now, but they're
A
ramping up,
little bit.
maybe.
Especially in LA where we are. It's production started to roll and then they were like, no, wait, we're gonna wait for a week. And we were all thinking, a week? What's gonna change in a week? Push a month. And then they didn't push a month, they pushed another week and then another week. And we're like, just push a month. And so I guess some things are back in production. Like people shot things. I have friends who have. Maddie, didn't you shoot something?
Yes.
But again, we can't talk about it.
Yeah,
and-
same with Cecily. I have friends that are booking projects, a little bit, but yeah.
People are booking but not shooting, or people, like it's kind of a weird. It's sort of like a year ago at this time when people are like, how do we approach this? What do we do?
Mhm.
And theater in LA is just gonzo.
Yeah, like I said, right after equipment album, I was looking to take a mini break before I started, and the holiday Christmas Wonderthon just fell into my lap, and I had to jump on it.
Holiday Christmas
I would say it fell more into my lap than it fell into your lap. But it was a good show. It was a fun show.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of all depends, I guess, on vaccines and how many people are willing to get them, realizing it's basically just a flu shot. for just a different disease. But you know, there's so much we don't know about it that people are scared. And like for me, I have a lot of drug allergies, so I have to talk with my doctor to see if I'm even a good candidate to get the vaccine.
I can't even get a.
You can't even get it. You're not a good
Yeah.
candidate.
No, I can't get an appointment.
Oh,
I am the prime candidate because I have an underlying condition.
mm-hmm,
Because she is,
mm-hmm.
you know, an underlying condition.
You know what? I have some information I'll send to you after the show about how to get on standby list.
I am.
You're on the standby list?
I am on so many standby lists. I'm on every single standby list. But
Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting appointments for my dad. He's going to be 83 next week. He doesn't do the internet, so it's you know, the rollout has been a little bit wonky. Instead of like figuring out how the geriatric crowd is going to get their, you know, like reaching out to their GPs or whatever, you know, having the internet site isn't really ideal. We'll figure it out eventually, or we'll all die and then we don't have to figure it out.
Yeah, but I cannot get an appointment for that life.
It's tough. I know here everybody's just, you know, constantly on the website, checking it at the top of every hour. And it's tough. It's tough.
I even tried sneaking into a site and they wouldn't let me in.
Yeah, I know here we have some Albertsons pharmacies. I'm trying to think what Albertsons is back east. I can't remember. Vaughn's? No, I can't remember. And then like CVS, a lot of CVS pharmacies now have it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like it's interesting because, you know, we've heard stories of, you know, healthy people jumping the line.
Yeah.
And
or people that really need it and they're not opting for it.
I really
like they just like cancel their appointments or whatever. Yeah. Like that's going on too.
Right. Well, then that's why the standby list is so good. I mean, I live virtually across the street from a hospital. So if I'm a good candidate, once I talk to my doctor, I'm going to put myself on the standby list because in no scenario would it take me more than 5 minutes to get over to that hospital to get, you know, even if I had to walk, it would only take me 5 minutes to get to the hospital. It's a block away to get a vaccine. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. I think saying theater probably won't come back till 2022 is probably accurate, which sucks hardcore. But the thing is, we have a precedent, 1918. You know, it took 2 years. I mean, it was started in 1918, but really was 1919, 1920. So theater came back in 1921. And so, you know, we're looking at two years. And especially now, since there's way more people, and way more people who are not willing to go with the flow and follow the rules and just be good to each other by staying home. I mean, for you all, it's a lot easier to stay home because you're snowed in. For us, it's a beautiful, sunny, warm day outside. It's a little breezy, but
definitely on
you know,
Sunday. I made it
the day people are, I'm sure if I log into Facebook, I'm going to see all these images of people hiking.
Yeah.
Because it's nice out. And do they hike with masks on?
Like
I don't know.
Like I said before the Chris, if I have to put on a freaking mask to meet Hugh Jackman when he does the music, man, and take a 6 feet away selfie with a mask just to meet Hugh Jackman when he does the music, man, he knows I will do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, once, you know, it's over or under control, whatever you want to call it, we'll still be masking. I think when you look at, you know, the Asian cultures like Japan and parts of China, people have been wearing masks for years. And I'll be honest, I was that judgy girl going, okay, whatever, weirdo. And now I'm like, you know, I got sick a couple of years ago. I got a virus, and I was that person. I was like, you know what? I should wear a mask because I'm going to be around people. Oh, maybe this isn't so dumb.
Exactly.
And I mean, I resisted it this time around too, but now I have like a huge wardrobe of super cute masks.
I've got like 30 of them now.
You have 3, I have 11.
That's a
So, you know, like
All color coordinated, right?
totally.
Yeah.
Right.
I am very
Yeah, we have a ton.
I know I have one right here. See?
Cute.
And they fit lovely over my KN95s that I got from Costco.
Nice.
Different shades of every color.
I know, it's so strange. This is such a weird. I mean, I feel like it's good we're documenting it in a way, but I always worry too, like, is everything from this time gonna just be all COVID?
I have so many masks that I think
I can wash them once a week because I don't run out.
no.
Same here.
So it's good. It's good. And then my husband travels, so we have the disposable masks for him because it's just
Yes.
safer on the road.
Mhm.
Yeah, these couple of years are gonna really F with our carbon footprints in a lot of ways with lots of disposable things and stuff like that. But you know, we'll make up for it afterwards.
You know,
No.
like I said with Chris, he knows that I stay door rain. You know, I stay door in the rain, sleep, snow,
Tornado.
tornado.
Hurricane. That could all be coming. It doesn't matter. He's out there.
Are you the USPS?
I am like,
That's no exaggeration.
I'm like the U.S. mail service. You know, the motto is no sleep or rain or time will keep us from delivering your mail. Well, my motto is there's no sleep or rain or time that will keep me away from any stage door.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I have to put on the mask to make you Jackman
Yeah, that's happening.
and us in Portland
Full compliance.
in 30 below weather, then it will happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I'm a double masker now, and
Yeah.
you know, I just follow the directives as they evolve, and and it's always exciting to learn new things about how, you know, my husband had COVID earlier last year or late last year, and to learn like I can't get sick from him now. Before I could, but now I can't. He can't bring it to me. Because I know that that's a concern with the vaccine is once you're vaccinated, you might still be able to spread to others, like the flu. You're immune, but you can spread to others. And so knowing that, well, now he's immunocompromised because he had COVID, so he needs to get it. So I put him on the standby list yesterday, and so looking forward to talking to my doc so I can see where I stand. And because, yeah, I want to get back to it. I want to get back to shooting. I want to, you know, update my reel. I have great ideas that I have that I want to shoot. I can shoot in my house, but who do I trust in my house?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Everybody's being as safe as they think they need to be. We just all have different standards of what we consider safe. So, judging other people, it's not that they're not being safe, it's they're being as safe as they think they need to be. I just, because I have asthma as well as, nothing else, just as asthma and drug allergies, I do have to be a little bit more careful than somebody who has no allergies, no illnesses, has never been in the hospital, has never had surgeries, doesn't get sick ever. Like, they just, their safety bubble is bigger than mine. It is what it is. So just trying to figure out, like
Yeah.
how to navigate, and then just keeping it in mind. Like, I should have been more prepared, man. As a kid, I was super interested in the 1918 pandemic. Like, I knew it was a 100-year event. Why didn't I remember it was 100 years? I should have known. Oh well.
Right.
I'll know for the next
Next
one.
time.
Yeah, next
That's
time.
right.
Yeah.
Hoping I'm not here for the next one.
Yeah, but in the beginning, when they said, "Oh, it's gonna be a month until Broadway returns," everybody was building these nice home studios, with very expensive equipment. And I looked at Chris, and I'm like, it will only be 6 months. We don't need to do that. And then when they said it would be a year and a half, I'm like, oh, Chris! I'm like, I'm the builder home studio.
Well,
Yeah.
ABC7.
Like everybody else. I was trying to own off because but I couldn't.
It's a long time.
One thing that 10 months to 2 years.
Yeah.
I said, Chris, time to build our own studio. And
Yeah.
Get down to brass tacks.
And now I have a very
Yeah.
sophisticated
Absolutely.
home studio.
That's very nice.
And I get added right before the play.
Yeah.
My new thing is I added a green
Green screen.
screen.
That's right.
That is a green screen on one side and a blue and blue on the
It's got a nice
other.
stand too. It's quality.
Yeah.
It feels-
Well, I know, Maggie, you've spent a lot of time setting up a studio at your place too, right? That's something you didn't promote. Your book.
My audiobook. So over the last year, I've been pursuing
It's also-
voiceover work more, since it's something to do in the safety of your own home. You don't need to go anywhere for it. And I was fortunate enough to voice narrate a short audiobook, and actually finished a second one that is sitting and waiting for the author's cover art before it goes to quality assurance and gets checked out there.
And
Yeah,
you did this all in your home studio, right?
yeah. I learned how to record and master and equalize and do all this tech stuff that I still don't even know what half of it means.
You're not alone.
Yeah, I'm sitting
Not alone.
in my mixer and
Oh, nice.
I'm looking at all these buttons that
I've never used a mixer before.
So many buttons. All the buttons.
yeah,
Mhm.
I know.
No.
I have found effect built in, like clapping and cheering.
That's why.
Yeah. So it sounds like I have a real studio audience when I have an interview.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not really in a studio setting right now. I just have my laptop and my ring light, which you can see if I go like that a little bit, but I have some alternate light things. So it's far enough away, it doesn't make that creepy robot circle
You
in your
look
eyes. Well, thanks. So do you, though. And then I have like a professional studio set up in my garage for, we do a lot of photography in a regular year. And, I've done some, recorded some video holiday cards over the holidays in there. So it's like floor to ceiling. We have backdrops and things like that. And then I have like a little mini self-tape studio that I set up in my living room with curtains that a gray curtain and a blue curtain that I close depending on if it's comedy or drama. And then my ring lights, and I just shoot on an iPhone, and I have an external mic, and it's simple, but it's quick up and down, for when we have short turnarounds for those self-tapes. Like, we need this back. We need like a perfect 3 scenes. It's 10 pages in 12 hours. And you're like, oh, okay. Because it's so different than theater. With theater, it's like you don't have to be off book. You just have to be familiar with the material. You show up, and you have all this time in rehearsals to work the material, to get really familiar, to like take it apart, to talk to people about it. And in film and TV, it's just be as close to off book as possible, because if you book you might be shooting in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just so different.
Wow. Yeah, the dynamics, yeah.
Maggie, did you see the picture of that Lily's command center for the play?
Oh, my tech setup?
Yeah, your command center.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, your tech setup was intense.
Yeah. Did you see it, Mag? Did you get to see the picture?
Oh, I saw the picture and laughed and cried a little bit at the same time. And then all I could thought was, Cecily is a tech wizard.
Again, I'm like a theater pusher. I'm learning now the signal path. But yeah, it was, we did have our technical difficulty at the top of the show, which interestingly I've had again this week with my regular Zooms. I log in and then my sound disconnects. And so it's like, do you want to be connected to audio? Or the answer is always yes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the new update, by the way, there is a Zoom update this week. I'm hoping that took care of it, because I did have a Zoom earlier today with no audio issues.
Mm.
So
we I don't know what happened last night, but the mixer wouldn't feed the computer audio to Zoom.
Oh no.
So nobody could hear the detective.
Oh no.
So I had to read the detective part because the CD wasn't working, because the mixer would only feed the mic audio, but not the mix the audio.
Interesting. And for anybody who's wondering what was last night, Jesse had a personal murder mystery party.
Yeah.
He was the detective. He was
Yeah.
the host.
Nice.
And so he's super into murder mystery too.
Yeah.
Maggie. I love it. I went to see, Tony and Tina's wedding when I lived in New York.
I love murder mysteries, but I'm so bad at them. Like I never can get the right killer.
Yeah, and I almost don't even care. I just like I just am excited about the experience.
Yeah.
Like, somebody died, but it's not a real person, so I don't care. Let's have a snack and
Yeah. Talk to
enjoy.
people, and investigate, and then lead people astray. Give them wrong advice or the right advice. Yeah. I get a little competitive though, so sometimes I'm like, but I really want to find out who did it.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, right?
And I'm very hard to please.
You do have high standards, Jesse.
No, because I need to find a kit with a CD with all the sound effect and the detective all on it mixed together.
Mhm.
So it's easier for me.
Got it. You might want to learn the technology of like MP3 and iTunes. I mean, it might simplify things for you, and CD people are not really making CDs so much anymore.
No, you're totally right about that. Absolutely.
I meant that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I mean.
Ah, got it.
yeah.
I meant MP3.
Got it.
I meant MP3.
But for this murder mystery last night, it was in a zip file. So when we're playing it on iTunes, whenever we go to click on it, it says it can't locate the file, and so.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Ah, technology. It's so great until it isn't.
Yeah, and then the mixer wouldn't work with the computer audio.
Oh.
So if I play the file through iTunes, nobody could hear it.
Did you have that checkbox, the share screen checkbox?
Yeah. And it still wouldn't work.
Oh, Zoom.
Yeah, that was when we on what we're on. Yeah, I like it better.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm getting used to Zoom. I
like Zoom,
I feel like when we are better.
Well, I like the way that we can have a triple split screen here on StreamYard as opposed to Zoom, because it just makes it look nicer. It makes it easier for all of our viewers, and that's not really something that Zoom has yet. Because I feel like also StreamYard was created as a performance app as opposed to Zoom, which was like for business.
That's what House uses
So the driving forces behind the development are just different.
Like through StreamYard, I could play videos and pictures all from one thing. I don't need 6 different computers.
Yeah. You have like one interface where everything is.
Yeah.
And with Zoom, you can have it all in one place. Like I had my big setup, but it wasn't so much because of Zoom as it was to stabilize the signal, and like different computers did different things, and it's more of like a professional studio setup. Like you go into a studio and you have your camera, but your camera doesn't have a mic on it. The mic is separate. Like I had like a lot of things separated, just so that it would be the highest quality to go out into the stream. But but StreamYard is nice because they've streamlined it, all those processes into one interface, which is really cool.
Yeah, you can play videos and pictures and do credits all in one thing.
Yeah. Now, if they could just get more than 10 people at a time.
That's the problem.
We could. I mean, it just seems like silly to me because they created this performance app, and there aren't enough slots to have large number of people on at once. Like, don't you think choirs would be using it? And like lots of people would be
Well,
using it for their plays if you could get enough
yeah,
people on screen at the same time.
like I said to
Pay for a
you,
plan.
like I said to you in the beginning of uh, with Wonderthon, we're going up New York, and that is that there's no way we could get any cameras on New York,
Hmm.
but not 16.
No.
Yeah, it's just not part of their functionality. But listen to us, StreamYard. You need to up your game so we can start doing
Yeah,
some more virtual plays, but through
yeah,
you.
Pay for the plan.
Because honestly, the video quality I feel like is better
Yeah,
on
it is.
StreamYard,
Yeah.
yeah.
but that could just be me.
No, I think
Yeah, because right now I'm using my studio camera, which is a 4K
it's a 4K.
high definition
No.
4K camera, and the
So it's pretty nice.
picture
Yeah.
is,
Resolution is just higher, naturally.
higher, better quality.
Yeah. It is.
I have a new computer, so I don't even know what kind of camera it has.
Resolution. Right.
I feel like it has a higher resolution. I have no idea,
Right.
but it's
It's
a
definitely
new
high def, though, for sure.
new computer that I got like a week and a half ago. So
Maggie, what in your studio?
What is my studio?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have my voiceover booth, which is hiding behind me. It's like 4x4 booth that I built. A lot of sweat and tears went into that booth. Did it all by myself almost. My friend helped me, but cutting PVC pipes, putting all the curtains up, hanging everything. So that's still a work in progress. I'm still trying to figure out kind of the soundproofing on the inside of it and where I want to put different things. But then when I do self-tapes, that's its own setup of, my blue-gray backdrop here. And I'm lucky I have a lot of natural lighting. So if I don't have to bust out the ring light, the better. So it's mostly then filming things during daytime and just letting the natural light come in and wash over me.
Illuminate your pretty face.
Oh, stop it. Illuminate all the wrinkles. Yeah. Hide all the wrinkles. Hide all the wrinkles. Yeah, I try to make things easy. My fiance for Christmas gave me his old iPhone, which was an iPhone 10X.
Oh wow, that's not even old.
And I was like, oh, thank you for your hand-me-down, which is like a 3 times upgrade from my phone.
Right.
I'll take your hand-me-down. So that's been nice because I think just having a good picture quality is
It's key. It's crucial.
so crucial. Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, my computer's old and I can tell the difference between how fuzzy I look versus how crystal clear Cecily looks in her beauty.
What were you using with the play? What were you using with the play? The film?
did you use just this laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This. Yeah.
Well, you
Nothing
looked
fancy.
great. But it was nighttime, so you used a ring light, I imagine.
Oh yeah. So it was at night. I know. So I didn't have my natural light set up. So I had, it was for the play. It was crazy. I wanted to be standing because when I'm performing, I like to stand. But if I'm just chatting, I'm sitting at my desk. But I had to put it on my bed and put all these boxes so that I was standing behind my bed and it was standing at like face height. And then I had to get my small ring light behind my computer and then my lamp on the side as well, just to like give me enough light on my face.
Yeah,
and then had the overhead light that was part of the ceiling fan on that like had a diffused light. And so it was crazy.
But you looked great. The lighting was great on you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It took a lot of finagling and is this right? Is this right? Where's the shadows? And then playing with the virtual backgrounds to be like, am I faded out here? I don't know. Do I look bright enough in the jewelry shop? I don't know. Are these fake trees really just, hiding my
Wait, what was that word? Finagling?
finagling?
Yeah. Okay. I always said finagling.
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 I don't know. I'm from Minnesota, so I
Oh
say
no, sorry.
sometimes say things weird.
Hey,
People
I
always
say
make
it
fun of
too.
the bagel.
Right. I was like,
Yeah.
You eat bagels in Minnesota?
Oh yeah, we love bagels.
All right.
Oh, sorry, bagels.
Bagels.
Bagels. I actually fun story. Fun story. I was serving a woman, an older woman one time. She was by herself and it was breakfast time. And I asked her, "Oh, do you want, toast or an English muffin?" And she was like, "Oh, what's an English muffin?" I was like, "Oh, it's kind of round like a bagel." And she was like, "A bagel? What's a bagel?" And I was like,
Right.
like a like a donut has a hole. She's like, "Oh, a bagel. Oh, you mean bagel?" And just completely called me out on that. I was like, "Oh,
Right. Oh no. Yeah. I'm just being.
bagel."
It's because it's Yiddish.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Bagel.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if anybody ever asks you again, what is an English muffin? It is a crumpet.
Well, right. Over there, it's tea and crumpets.
Because they don't call them English muffins in England.
No, they don't. No.
They're called crumpets
Trumpets.
Yeah.
because Americans are so weird. We couldn't call it a crumpet. We had to call it an English muffin.
English muffin. Yeah.
Yeah, you go and I think in Australia they call them crumpets as well. So like in a large swath of the world where you would order it, they're like, a what now?
Right. Yeah, okay. Like you're an alien. Yeah. Right. It's an alien.
Mhm.
Like, who's this
I
person?
know.
So I stopped calling them English muffins now. I just call them crumpets because I feel fancy.
You are
That
fancy.
does sound better, actually. Yeah. Tea and
You are so
crumpets.
fancy. Look at your necklace.
My fancy fake necklace,
Your fancy fake pearls. Yeah.
my fake pearls.
Oh,
I left
necklace.
little pearls upstairs.
Oh,
I wanted my fake pearls today.
I want to look all pretty.
I lost them. I couldn't find them. They were in a drawer in my bathroom, and I just recently found them. I'm like, hooray!
Yeah,
Happens a lot here.
I have so many.
Pearl necklaces that you're just waiting to wear, Jesse.
That you keep losing in drawers.
No, but I lose a wig cap every year.
Hmm.
I
It's
run
like, where's that
around.
wig at? I don't know where it is.
I run around the house going, "Mom, it's that wig. I lost my wig cap again."
Oh, I found wig caps too, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Because I mainly do, 40, 50, 60s revivals,
Mm-hmm.
and I rarely use my own hair because I love a good wig.
Yeah.
Me too.
Mhm.
That's
Like,
cool too if it's done right.
yeah, like I was supposed to play Frankie Avalon in a parody of Big Party. Uh, yeah, so I have a lot of wigs that I like to rotate for parts, and
Yeah, they get lost in the jungle somewhere.
and I lose.
Garage somewhere.
Oh, I lose a wig cap every year.
Oh sure.
Yeah, it's not happening. You're not.
I still have a wig cap that I've had since 1999.
Wow.
The elastic is not going to last much longer, but I love that wig cap. It's the first one that was issued to me in an equity musical. So I was like, oh, I'm so fancy now. I'm a real actor. They gave me this to go with my wig that got professionally styled.
It's fancy.
I didn't have to get my own wig cap.
Yeah, like I have my own costume designer, and Rick is a godsend. He builds plasticity of CP, and he's like, you lost your wig cap again.
Yeah, he's like,
That's funny.
Yeah.
Once you find a good wig cap,
oh,
like
yeah, you gotta keep it, absolutely.
you don't want to lose it because
Right.
not all wig caps are created equal. I've made my own wig caps, like out of old fishnets. I've like
Right.
tried all kinds of things, and just those good wig caps.
It's like my aunt with her shower cap. She still has
Right.
the same
I have a good shower cap. I'm very careful with it because I don't want to lose it because I love it.
Yeah.
It's a very good wig cap.
Right.
And
They're hard to find quality ones. Yeah.
I have a lot of wigs.
Where do you keep all your wigs?
In the garage.
Mainly in the garage.
Can you put any cars in there?
No.
No.
It's all full of wigs.
Yep. Wigs
It's like,
and all my costumes are in there with my wigs, and I have props and costumes
clothes,
and wigs and a whole bunch of. I even have the old Jeffrey Walker Show set from 2001 when the first season premiered. Public access that is in the garage.
You should do an anniversary show on the old set.
We did it
Hey,
15 years ago.
15 years. That was a 5-year anniversary. Now we're talking about the 20-year anniversary.
Alright.
No, it was for the 15th anniversary.
Nice.
It was like 6 years ago, and we took over the ballroom, got the old set out of the garage, got the ballroom in the clubhouse, and reenacted the pilot episode with made Chris wet himself or almost wet himself.
Very close.
My goodness, that sounds intense.
He almost not
It was during
even
the summer, and it was July or whatever it was. And I was drinking water throughout the day, and I was setting stuff up. I didn't get a chance to go. Show starts,
and
I'm
I had
laughing. When you laugh, it doesn't help matter as much. That's for sure.
and you're talking about the two most funniest people besides Lucille Ball we had on the show, and I said to Chris, go to the bathroom,
It's like I don't have time to go to the bathroom.
and I'm like, fuck me.
I was a one-man operating for
Yep.
here.
I relate.
And I've been friends with these people
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
for
long time.
like 21 years. So I know how they are. So, and this is that he's been only working with me for 6 months,
Oh, at the time,
at
yes,
the
it's much better.
time.
Yeah.
and he does not know them as well as I do. So I'm like, Chris, go to the bathroom. I know what they're capable of. You immediately go
I should just
to
put on a diaper at that point, so I can prepare.
yeah.
It's like just pee right where I am.
Well,
No one can know.
I hope you learned your lesson.
Well, yes, I did. I absolutely did. I will listen to Jesse's advice next
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Whenever they're part of our show.
Yep.
Well, Jesse, thank you so much for having us today. This was
Yeah.
super fun.
Mhm.
You're
It's our pleasure.
welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I gotta talk to you about that. Both of you about that secret project in July that maybe Maggie will be a part of, and you definitely will be a
Sounds
part.
good to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, let's say you will see a whole nother side of Jesse that you haven't seen before.
Excellent.
But thank you for
Yeah,
doing
thanks, guys.
Yeah,
it.
thanks for
It
having us.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Right. Until next
Bye.
time.
Yes, until next time.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye.